Hello and welcome to my LEC video for this week. Instead of power rankings, because the split's over, I am doing a playoff ranking. So I'm going to rank the 6 playoff teams and how I feel about their prospects going into the playoffs, and my All-Pro team for spring, as well as I'm going to star my MVP because I forgot to write MVP down. I just realized it. I do this, I guess I will do this for all 4 major regions, but I do power rankings every day. LCK came out yesterday, LPL Monday, LCS tomorrow, and there will be a similar video like this come playoff time if I am available, because all of next week I will be out of town, so all my videos will be audio only. There won't be a whiteboard. It'll just be me talking into a mic. Content like this, I guess, writing it down does, I guess, work, because like you can clearly read 3 letters along here, but notes for my League of Legends roundup, not many people could read the writing. Most of it's just for my notes to articulate to you. But enough with that. You're here to see the playoff rankings and the All-Pro team. So, 6th place going into the playoffs is Excel. Excel, I don't have confidence in. Really, none of Excel gives me confidence. Mickey X does, but Nuke Duck, I think, is limited. Patrick is limited. They're limited. They really are. I like Marcoon. I think Finn has been better since, returning to the LEC. Anything was better than his trip to the LCS, but I think that they are a distant 6th. I don't know if, it's a distant 6th. 5th place, and it's going to surprise some people, Misfits. So, Misfits had a great spring, but they choked. They didn't choke. They won because other teams choked. They won a lot of games they should not win, and come playoff time, you're against teams that, yes, you're able to take a game off G2, you upset them, you're able to do this against someone else, you're able to do this and that. Like, you can find ways to win games, and that actually, is a factor in the playoffs. Like, if you can find a way to win, you win. But now you're against teams that are like, okay, we're in the playoffs, now let's kick it into high gear. It lives and dies by Vethio, and I think because they only have 1 carry threat, it's going to hamper them. If I'm the opposition, I throw 4 bans on him, and then I ban Lee Sin, because Zlatan is clearly really, really good at Lee Sin. So you take the Lee Sin away, you ban mids, and you put Vethio on like an Orianna, and he is going to be limited. You can only do so much. You don't want to put him on a champion like an Akali or a LeBlanc or something that he can carry with. You want to give him something that has to, give him a control mage matchup, and you have a chance to win. 4th place, Vitality. Vitality definitely has a case to be made that they could win the whole thing. I think we all know that. On paper, Vitality has an all-star roster. They should frankly not be 4th place. And going into the playoffs, they are 6th or 5th or whatever, 99, tied with XL. But, I think that I believe in their players more than Misfits and XL's. And like I said, arguably you could say that they could win it all. But given how they've played all year, I really don't know what we're going to get out of Vitality. I think none of us know what we're going to get out of Vitality. Were they trolling us the whole time? Did they have trouble all spring long getting it together? And, this final week of the season did not, help that situation. 3rd place, G2. So G2 is above everybody else, not because, I like Misfits roster a lot. I like Vethio, I keep saying it. Vitality's got a lot of young players. G2 has nobody that Vitality doesn't have a bunch of young players. Vitality has a bunch of all-pro players that we know are really good. But G2 has 2 carry threats, Caps and Broken Blade. And I think that has value, because you can't do what you're going to do to Misfits and say, well, we'll give Harit a really good champion. I guess Tryndamere, I guess. But any player can play a Tryndamere and dominate the lane, because Tryndamere is so dominant. So, G2, they can carry with Caps, they can carry with Broken Blade, And I think that alone, with two threats, provides them an opportunity to win a best of five, where people can't take champions away from them. And I like the young bot lane. I think the young bot lane has something to be said here. Flackid hasn't really done much lately. And maybe, now's the time to shine. I guess that is going to be where they live and die, will be through bot lane. Because Yankos isn't going to screw them over in the jungle. Second place, Rogue. All year long, Rogue was the best team. For 90% of the year, Rogue was the best team. But over the last couple weeks, they've struggled at times. And honestly, just to get into this, because obviously Fnatic's first, and I got to explain why Fnatic is above Rogue. So, Hylissang factor, 110%. It is the Hilly factor. That is why they are above them, and it's bot lane. Because, Larson, solid. But Larson and Humanoid, I really don't feel that there's much of a difference between the two of them. I really don't at this point in what they provide. I believe that Mailring provides more than Razork, and Wonder and Odoamne are the same. So, the advantage to Rogue is jungle, and Fnatic, it's bot lane. And I'm going to take the Fnatic bot lane over Mailring. As of right now, Fnatic are hot. Fnatic right now are the number one team going into the playoffs for me. Honestly, I could see Rogue being, I'm not going to say, they're definitely going to win, but right now, they're first, in my opinion. I think Rogue or Fnatic are definitely the top two dogs. Then you have these two, these three, and then Excel by themselves, because I don't think Excel have a chance, which watch, they'll upset somebody or something, and I'll look like an idiot, but that's how it looks right now. Now, my LEC All-Pro team, top lane, Broken Blade. Broken Blade had moments, especially early in the split, where he carried for G2, and he carried hard. He really did. He caps all split long, except I think over the last 2 weeks, caps has kind of shown up. But the first 6 weeks of the season, it was all Broken Blade for them. Once in a while, Flackid was okay, but it was a Broken Blade show. And it still is, I think, in some ways. And I think he is the best top laner right now in the LEC. And I'm a big Harit fan, but I believe Broken Blade is the best top laner from Spring. Jungle, it's Mailring. Mailring was stronger in the beginning of the split than he is now, but he reminded us just of his value this past week on the Hecarim. You put him on a carry champion, and he did really well. I think he definitely has given Rogue an opportunity to succeed, because really they don't have a great carry threat. Comp has been solid. In moments he's been really good, but I think he's been solid. Trimby is maybe their second best player on the roster. Odo is solid weak side. But I think Mailring facilitates it all. And honestly, I don't think there's another jungler better than him. Selfmade has had moments where he's been really good, but Vitality has been awful sometimes. Honestly, I even would throw Elyoya in the conversation. Elyoya, despite, how often on Mad did he actually, do awful this split? He was not the problem with Mad Lions. It was the mid lane, and I've been harping on it the whole time. Reeker was the problem with the Mad Lions in Spring. So, I'd argue even Elyoya could be, if I had a second team up here, I would make a case for Elyoya over Razork, Selfmade, Yankos, anybody. Shalatan, Marcoon, the list goes on and on. Mid lane, Vatio, he ends up being my MVP as well. I've been saying it, if you've been watching my recaps, he is my MVP. Vatio has hard carried Misfits to where they are. Shalatan has done better in the second half of the split. So he's been a solid secondary piece, setting plays up. But Vatio has been just disgusting since the week 1 of the season. It is truly something. And really, when I think of mid lane right now in the LEC, Caps had a couple games that were good. Larson had a couple games. Humanoid was okay, not as often. He wasn't as much of a vocal point on Fnatic. Obviously, the bot lane is. But Perks, how many times did Perks kind of just int? and Nuke Duck, I mean, outside of the Vigar games, Nuke Duck was pretty irrelevant. So, like, Vethio from the first week, he has been the best player in the LEC, and I don't think he ever relinquished that. Honest to God. And I mean, I was a fan of him going into the year, and I still am. Now, bot lane is shared. It is the Fnatic bot lane, Upset, and Hilly. I mean, I had a moment where like the issue actually becomes excuse me. Actually, there is no issue. I was going to try and make a case for somebody even rivaling them, and there isn't. Upset broke Reckless's record for least amount of deaths in a split. That's real. That matters. I mean, like I said it in my recap of that game of the week in the LEC. That's a big deal. I mean, Upset replaced Reckless, and I mean, I'll be honest, it was real upsetting when Reckless went to G2. I'm not even a Fnatic fan. I'm just like, I come from a traditional sports background where I really value players that stick with the team for a long time and are like the face of that team. A player that, you know, if you have a jersey hanging from a rafter, they are the one, you know. And Reckless is that for Fnatic. And, you know, it was tough seeing Upset get the job. And a lot of people doubted him. I doubted him. And he showed up. And Hilly is a big reason why. Hilly's picks, especially now the Renata, pulling out the Pike, pulling out all sorts of stuff all split long, and doing a great job. Hilly is one of the best supports in the world, like top 3 in the world, top 5 in the world. And there is, I mean, Trimby's had moments where he's been able to rival Hylissang this split. But I think that given that he is not with Upset, he's with Comp, and Rogue plays a different, you know, style of game, Trimby doesn't get as much love. But I mean, I can't not put Hylissang first. Hylissang obviously is better than Trimby. But that's my coverage for the LEC as the split comes to an end, the regular season split. Obviously, playoffs come. I actually realize playoffs will start a week after I come back. So I will not miss any games in the LEC because playoffs don't start till like the 25th or something, and I'll be back by then. So this is my last LEC video, at least for till then. I might make a video about the 4 teams that missed. 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, 4. And maybe kind of give a wish list of what they need to do this off season to make themselves a top 6 team or something. But if you like this sort of content, like, comment, subscribe, like, comment for sure if you have a different opinion of who you think might win playoffs, or, you know, if you have a different idea of who should be MVP or all-pro team. I mean, there's definitely cases to be made in some areas. I think you can make a case in jungle. I think you can make a case for top lane. I mean, I don't think you can make a case for mid or bot, but you can go ahead. But yeah. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you come back for more content.